Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you so much for tuning in to my cold, hard truth presentation. My name is Sandra Gabriel, and I'm going to get into the details of who I am in just a second. First thing I want to do is to just let you know who this presentation is for. This presentation is for any entrepreneur who is struggling with their brand. You've tried certain things and it hasn't worked out, or you've been struggling with what kind of brand you should start, or, you're just tired of working with different contractors who don't quite get what it is that you want to do. So this is going to kind of talk to you about why your brand is not working, and then we're going to talk a bit about, what you can do to fix it. But I just want to caution you that this is not a silver bullet solution. This is not going to be one of those things where by the end of it, the gates of answers are going to open up and you're going to know exactly everything that you're going to want to do, and it's going to happen overnight. A lot of here in this presentation is pretty much stuff that you've already heard. The only difference is that I'm going to take action, and I'm going to tell you how you and I can connect so that you can take action and that I can help to hold you accountable to the things that we talk about in this discussion. So if that is all fine and dandy with you, we can proceed. So here we go. So a little bit about me. I moved to Toronto. I'm actually born and raised in Montreal, and I moved to Toronto in 2002. I worked at several corporations, which is where a lot of my experience had built. And then I ended up going back to school to do a certificate in public relations because I wanted to branch out a little bit. I was an administrative assistant and I wanted to expand on my career, so I thought to go back to school and get a certificate in public relations. At the same time, I was building up my experience, volunteering on the board with the Black Business and Professional Association in Toronto. I was the communications director, and I got a lot of experience. And I'm telling you now, anybody who wants experience in your field, volunteering is the way to go, because nonprofits, they do need help. And at the same time, you kind of have kind of an open forum to be able to ask questions as well as to expand your learning. So great idea to start volunteering if you need experience. Around the same time, I started my company, SGPR Consulting, because no one was hiring, a beginner PR student to do their marketing or their PR. And so I went the rebellious route, and I thought, well, if no one's going to hire me, I'm going to start my own thing. So that's exactly what I did. And I started working at Deloitte & Touche. Completely wonderful organization. Mind you, I was miserable with the work that I was doing, but I loved the people, I loved the company, and a lot of the foundations of what I learned in branding was through Deloitte & Touche, because, with any corporations, branding is very, very important. The way they look, the way they sound, and there was always a uniformity to their branding. So I learned a lot here as well. Forward. Doing my PR certificate, immediately into doing my bachelor's degree, and that beautiful castle you see behind you is Hatley Castle. That's where I did my communications degree at Royal Roads University in Victoria, BC. That's actually the administration building. So behind the other side of that picture would be where a lot of the classes were held. But fun fact, X-Men was filmed at Hatley Castle. This is the Xavier School for the Gifted, so I'm a proud member of Xavier's School, a proud X-Man, I should say. Around the same time, my communication creator, EMT World Media, wonderful. And this is where, remember before I was saying I couldn't get a job in PR because I had just started, but by this time I had enough experience to get my foot in the communications door, and I got to travel with this role and work internationally with all the departments of the company. I really loved working there, but there was still something inside of me that said I'm not quite happy, and I think it's because I always saw myself as a leader. And so I still wanted to have my own business. And fortunately, but unfortunately, our Canadian offices had closed down at that company, and I thought, wow, this is my opportunity to go full-time into my business. But I still wanted some business training, even though I had spent years, even before I moved to Toronto, I had spent a lot of time researching what it is to start a business and register a business and accounting and marketing and all kinds of things. I was put onto the Ontario Self-Employment Benefits Program and learned a lot more about running a business and taxes and all kinds of things. There's so much to learn about starting a business. And then once I had completed that program, I rebranded SGPR Consulting into the company that we all know and love today, and that is Gabriel Press and Relationships. So today I'm the founder and CEO at Gabriel PR. We are a boutique branding and public relations agency. I've been painfully yet blissfully celebrating 12 years in business. I've worked and consulted with hundreds of clients around the world, literally, and I've created and delivered trainings on public relations, social media, branding, all kinds of things to do with marketing. The work that I do pretty much on a daily basis includes group and online consults, mentoring. I've worked with contractors to design logos, business cards. I've developed websites for myself, and at one point I had to take a step back from developing websites. I had a lot of web development projects. Advertising management, I bought lots of advertising for clients, transit advertising, billboard advertising, online advertising, and those kind of things. Social media marketing, media relations, basically building relationships with the media to help my clients get published in magazines and then get them interviews on television shows and yada, 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 the list goes on. Basically anything you could think of in marketing, that's pretty much what I do on a regular basis. And here's the kind of wall that my clients are looking to build. It's to have some kind of clout and credibility to show that you've been featured in different media or on different shows or in different publications. So this is kind of a summary of the experience that I've built up over the years, and it's pretty impressive. And I have to say that myself because I really wasn't seeing it until I brought it all together. Because it's so hard to build media relationships, I may have seen like 1 or 2 or 3, maybe up to 5 in 1 year, but after 10, 12 years, you bring it all together and you're like, okay, well, I guess I have been making some traction with my media relations. So I was really, really happy to bring. Basically, in a nutshell, I have invested, not lost, which is a language I want you all to adapt. When it comes to branding and building business, nothing is lost. Everything is invested, including the time, including the money, the resource, whatever it is, invested. So I'll say I invested tens of thousands of dollars in my business. I've made all the mistakes to go along with it, too. I've spent thousands of hours in research. Research is going to be pretty much your gold, your bread and butter when it comes to building a successful business. Consulted with hundreds of brands around the world, including the USA, the UK, Australia, Switzerland, Suriname, a place I had never heard about until I actually had a client from there. And these clients have also invested tens of thousands of dollars into their business, and I was able to help put them on a path that they understood a little bit clearer, the steps that they could take to become a success. I started working interprovincially. So right now, as we speak, I am in Montreal, Quebec, but I travel back and forth to Ontario. I have clients there. I have clients here. So I go back and forth, but home is always where the heart is, isn't it? So, of course, I'm a Quebecer for now. And I spent time traveling across the U.S., Texas, New Orleans, Washington. I recently came back from Vegas. I'm writing a whole series on that. So if you're tuned in on sandragabriel.com, you will hear all about it. So why is your brand not working? This is why we're all here. This is why you tuned into this presentation, because you said, my brand is not working. And then you saw the title of my presentation and you're like, I'm going to tune into that presentation because she's talking exactly what I need to know. But before I jump in, I want to tell you, a quick word on branding. And that is that branding is the promise of an experience. And I had to put this in there because so many people believe that branding just has to do with their design, design of their logo, their business cards, their website. It is not just design. Actually, the design part is like the cherry on top of your brand. When you think about branding, I want you to think about the characteristic or the personality of your brand. What do people know your brand for, and what's the experience that they can hope to get each and every time they interact with you? For example, people know me that I love to smile. I smile. I'm always smiling. That's part of my brand. Sandra, she's always smiling. When you hear the name Sandra Gabriel, the first thing that's going to come to your mind is she's always smiling. So if you have a product and your name is Sandra Gabriel, when people hear your brand name, they should hear, or they should know that, that product is always top quality. That's what your branding is. It's what people say and what they know about you. So that's my quick word on branding. Keep that in mind as we go through everything, and forget the fact that branding just has to do with your design and your logo. It's above and beyond that. So why is your brand not working? The very first thing that I had to put on there is that you are not working. And as we go through, these are things that I have encountered with hundreds or more that I've worked with, as well as through my research, things that I've come across. And it pretty much says the same things. There are 8 reasons why your brand is not working. The very first one is that you are not working. I've encountered clients who believe that you can start a brand today, launch it in a week, a month, or even 3 months, and believe that it's going to be a success. You have to put in work like you've never put in work before. It's an investment, and the more you put in, the more you're going to get back out of it. So you have to decide in yourself that you're going to be working. No more of this, you kind of want to just do the bare minimum and get the most out of it. It doesn't work that way. Another reason why your brand is not working is that you are marketing yourself. So it's true that you do have to have yourself in the forefront to a certain degree, but for the most part, people are going to connect with you because you're promoting something that they can connect with. So if you're always talking about I this and I that, and again, like I said, for the most part, it is about you and about your story that helps people to connect with you. But you need to talk about other people's stories as well. You need to talk about what people are going through, what's going on in the world, what are some trends and things like that, what are different interests that will get people to relate to you. So if you're only talking about yourself all the time, then yeah, your brand is definitely not going to work. Now, you're going to think I did this twice. I did not. The emphasis on the first one is yourself. The emphasis here is you. You are marketing yourself. I tell clients a lot of times, yes, it's a good idea to get in on the ground floor of your company and do all the groundwork. But when it comes to the marketing, and especially when it comes to the design, if you have the budget, it's a really good idea to invest in working with a professional who knows about researching your audience, who knows about researching what kind of design works, because that's where you will really get the best return on your investment. I'm not going to go too deep into it because we're going to talk about how to fix these not working tactics. So just remember, you are marketing yourself, and you're not a marketer. You didn't go to school for marketing or communication. So it's kind of funny that a lot of clients actually try to tell me how to do it when they don't know. So keep that in mind. Not enough research. So again, a big part of the problem with research is that a lot of us go to our 5 friends. Our 5 friends tell us, oh, that's a great idea. And suddenly you think you're ready to go to market. Number one, your 5 friends have nothing to do with the market that you're trying to target. And number 2, it's not a big enough sample size. So when I say sample size, it's a common term in research. It means that you have to have a good amount of people say that's a good idea in order for you to determine that the investment that you're going to make is worth it. So again, if you're not doing enough research, doing you service, so we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into research in a second. You're not investing enough. So don't think that it's enough to just put in your few $100s for the year, or even, for a few years. I can tell you it's not even enough to say that you're going to do $10,000 in a year. When you think about companies like Coca-Cola and Starbucks, and these guys spend billions on marketing alone. I'm not even talking about their products and things that they have to buy to manufacture and whatnot. I read a report that I believe it's Diageo, which they own a ton of liquor brands. They spend like $2.5 billion on marketing alone. And of course, they didn't just start today and spend billions. But when you think about how much you invest over time, you know, you have to really, really gauge how much are you willing to invest in your brand. And your brand is an investment, just like a house, just like a car. It's one of the major investments that you're going to make in your lifetime if you decide that you want to go into branding. It's not something that you decide, oh, well, I'm going to try this out. It's a lifetime commitment. You're branding for all the wrong reasons. And when I say all the wrong reasons, I mean you're branding because you want to make money. Branding goes much deeper. It's like a cause, something that people connect with you on, that they can relate to, whether it's health related or politically related or socially related. You don't get into branding because you want to make money. You don't get into branding because you want to make somebody jealous or because, you know, you just feel like, well, I got to put my story out so that people know about it. Well, I mean, yeah, you want people to know about it, but I've encountered clients who, you know, they want to go on the air to talk about something personal going on with them just so that their family members could hear about it and get their family members to change their mind. It's really not just an immediate circle type thing. Branding is a world-changing movement. You want to touch lives. So if you're branding just for money or anything like that, then that's probably why your brand is not working. You have no clout or credibility. Another reason why your brand is not working. You don't know anybody. You haven't spoken anywhere or written any books or been published anywhere. And you think that you can just, you know, start your brand and everyone is going to know about you. Doesn't matter how great your website looks or how great your design is. You're not going to get very far with your brand if you don't have any clout or credibility. And then you have no connection. So you don't know anybody. You know, you're not connected in your industry or in your community. You don't really talk to anybody. And that is actually going to be the one thing to really help and push your brand is who you know, because they can refer business to you. So if you don't have any connections, then yeah, your brand is probably not going very well. So that's a ton about why your brand is not working. So let's talk about what we need to do to fix it. So the very first thing, if your brand is not working because you are not working, then the only thing I can tell you is to get to work. It's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of research. It's going to be a lot of list building, outreach, but don't shy away from it because it's hard. If your brand, if building your brand is something that you really want to do, then by all means jump in and don't act. I found this quote online that says, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Well, yes. You know, I've even worked with clients who the moment you mention, okay, we're going to have to build a list of 100 contacts so that you can survey them, they're like, oh, that's a lot of work though. And it's like, yes, you want it to be a lot of work actually, because if you only put in a little, you're only going to get out a little. So, you know, buckle down and get ready to do some work. It's not going to be an overnight thing. And a lot of times you might find that the work that you have to do, it's really not even that hard. It's really not even going to take you that much time. Some people, you know, they get all fearful over just making a phone call. I mean, just to make a phone call, really? It could open up a world of opportunity for you. So, you know, figure out what work it is that you have to do and just buckle down and simmer in it, immerse yourself in it, you know, until it's done. And, you know, you have to remember it's not forever. Even if it's something that's going to take you a week or 2 weeks, it is going to end. You just have to keep going. So get to work. For the reason of why your brand is not working, the second reason being that you're marketing yourself, I'm going to say that you need to focus on why. Why do you want to brand? This book is actually, I highly, highly recommend this book before you do anything else. I would even say if there was a way for you to pick up this book before you jumped on this presentation, I would have recommended that, because this is going to really get down and dirty with the core, the essence of your brand and why people are going to connect with you. Simon Sinek, he's a wonderful, wonderful author. He's all about leadership and inspiration. And this book pretty much breaks down, don't talk about what you do. Well, I mean, you are going to talk about what you do and how you do it. That's pretty much the surface, like your elevator speech. But when you start to talk about why am I doing this? I'm doing this because children all over the world are starving and they need to be fed and nobody's feeding them. Something like that will really capture somebody's attention. And that's just an example. But you really want to get down to why. And if reading is not your thing, Simon has a less than 20-minute video on pretty much that summarizes his book on TEDx. It's called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. So if you don't get the book, at least check out the video. But I'm pretty sure that once you check out the video, you're going to be like, okay, let me get that book. And I know it's available in audiobook as well. So for the reason why your brand is not working, being that you're marketing yourself, take the focus off of yourself and focus on why. Why am I doing this? Then for the problem of you marketing yourself, I urge you, I beg you, please get help. There's help out there, and it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars. Although, if you are going to spend thousands of dollars, make sure you get the best. Gabriel PR, just a little plug there. If you are going to get help, you don't got to break the bank. Fiverr is a company that I turn to frequently for small tasks for my clients who don't have a huge budget. My own VA is actually a team member of mine. That's my virtual assistant service, but they work with clients all over the world as well. Time, etc. is a bit of a higher end service because they are all American. I'm sure they have some people in the UK as well, but they're very great to work with. You actually get assigned someone who coordinates all your contractors. So that one's a bit higher end, but they're also a great service. Upwork is one I used to work with a lot. You can pretty much post what you're looking for, put the price points on there, and you'll get people sending in their resumes, and you can interview them, you can check out their portfolio, and all kinds of things. So I urge you very much, get help. Don't try to do it all on your own, because really and truly you can't. No man is an island. One of the great lessons that I learned last year was that you gotta get help. You gotta bring people with you who are going to raise you up, because when you find that you get to a point in your business that you can't go any further, that's when you know, okay, I need to get people on board because I want to expand, I want to grow. So these services, Fiverr, the name says it all. $5, you can get someone to design you a logo. You can get someone to build you a website. You can get someone to build your email marketing list. But again, even though you're hiring all this great help, you have to immerse yourself in it too, because if you hire someone to build you a list of subscribers, which I do not recommend that. Actually, let me use another example, because anytime you're working with a paid list, you could actually get taken to court for, buying lists and things like that. So if you're going to get someone to build you a list of websites, let's say, you're going to want to look through that list to make sure that they have really captured what you want. And then if you're doing any marketing or promotion, there's lots of people who will help set up ads for you online. They will help design ads for you, any promotional campaigns to manage your social media. There's so much help out there, and it's not expensive at all. So I urge you strongly to get help with your brand if it's not working. And then everybody's favorite is doing your research. I always hear people fall over in their chairs with boredom when I start talking about research, but honestly, if you love your brand and you love your industry and you love what you do, research is like the most exciting thing for you. And especially if you have, a tendency for curiosity, because and start researching one thing, and then it branches into another thing, and it branches into another thing, and then next thing you know, it's been like 2 hours, and you have all this juicy information. So there should be no such thing as not enough research when it comes to your brand. You should, jump in at point A, and then by the end of it, be at point Z point XYZ, if you can take it that far. So I strongly urge you, do your research. You might find, if you're doing a survey and you want to see, well, how many people would be interested in my new apple peeler, you can do some research and Google about peelers in, Minnesota, if that's your area. And then you might actually get a report that says, XYZ amount of people have actually bought apple peelers in Minnesota in the past 2 years. So your research is done for you right there. But if you know you have a really unique product, you're going to want to go out and collect, the names or the emails of people who could be potential clients and survey them. You can call them up. You can send them your survey online just to get their feedback on if that's a product that they would purchase or endorse or talk about. And then you can use that research in your marketing. You can use it if you're looking for investors. You can send that to investors, say, we did a research of 1,000 people, and we found that most of them, let's say 80% of them, said that they would buy this apple peeler because it helps them save time and money and XYZ. So research, research, research. If you do nothing else, research should be the beginning, because it will open your mind to like a whole bunch of other things, a whole bunch of other ideas that maybe you didn't think about when you were developing your product or service. So always, always, always do your research. And then I'm going to urge you to invest wisely, not too much and not too little, because I understand that especially if you're a brand that is just getting started, you don't have a huge budget to be pouring into all the pretty tools and resources like I used to do. And, I should have probably said this at the beginning, but I am totally guilty of doing all the things that make a brand go south. I am totally guilty. Oh, yeah, that's another reason why I'm here. I've made all kinds of mistakes. When I say I've invested tens of thousands, and the reason why I crossed out loss is because, like I said, I made the mistakes. I got the battle scars to show all the mistakes that I've made when it came to especially where to put my money. I remember spending $200 a month on an email marketing program that included CRM and all these things. And CRM is a program that can help you manage your sales and track your sales needs. But, you're going to find after spending all this money on these tools and resources that you don't really need all of that. You can keep it very simple to start, and then as you grow and expand, then you can look into tools and resources that maybe cost a little bit more, but at the same time you'll be making more money. So you want to be careful not to invest too much, but you also want to be careful not to invest too little. If you're only going to put $100, for something like your logo, you're not really thinking long term. I'm not putting down the $100 logo. I have done $100 logos, but it's really for businesses who are getting started, or they've only been around for a little bit. They need something just quickly that will look nice, on their website or brochures or their business card, and they want to just put something out there. But long term, I can tell you right now, there are lots of designers out there. They charge anywhere upwards from $3,000 for just the logo, not even the website, just the logo, because these brands know that they're going far with it, and that logo, that $3,000 investment for their logo is going to turn into a $10,000 return or more in the long term. So just be careful there. Don't invest too much. Don't invest too little. Find something that's comfortable for you. Don't try to haggle your contractors. I have to speak on behalf of the contractors because a lot of times when we're giving you a quote for something, it's way below what it should be. When I tell you $100 for a logo, you're getting the steal of a lifetime. Don't come back and tell me, oh, well, can I give you $50? You've already been cut down as much as it can go. So try not to downsize and devalue your contractors too much. So for the part about branding for the wrong reasons, and the main reason that I think of is people who brand just for the money. I'm gonna say forget about the money. I spent a lot of years chasing money because I needed to pay bills and whatnot. But that's not what you use your brand for. If you need money, get a job, part-time, full-time, whatever it is, temp jobs. That's what you do to get money. But when you want to change lives and when you want to start incorporating your passion into your daily life and use that as a career, then you got to think about you know, your gifts and your passions, and what is it that I'm good at? How can I change lives with what I'm good at? Where do I actually like to invest money? You know, am I all about buying health food? Am I all about investing in marketing or advertising programs? You know, you really got to think deep. And that's why I really, really like this video by Alan Watts. It's called What Do You Desire? And this, I actually call it the the entrepreneur's national anthem, because it is so profound, it is so touching and so revealing. And I'm actually going to see if I can play a little bit of it for you, because it's simply amazing. To me, it's something that opened my eyes. I had to play it for my mother one time, because I thought to myself, you know, this is so profound. This is really speaking to me. So hopefully you can see it. Okay. Here we go.
What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? Let's suppose, I do often in vocational guidance with students, they come to me and say, well, we're getting out of college and we haven't the faintest idea what we want to do. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's something as a result of our kind of educational system. Crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets. We'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person said, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I said, you want to teach in the riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally get down to something, the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important, you will spend your life wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. After all, if you really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is. You can eventually turn it, you should eventually become a master of it. The only way to become a master of something is really with it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for what it is. So we don't watch too much. Somebody's interested in everything. Anything you can be interested in, you'll find out. But it's absolutely stupid. Spend your time doing things you don't like in order to go on spending things you don't like, doing things you don't like, and to teach your children to follow in the same track. See, what we're doing is we're bringing up children, educating them, to live the same sort of lives we live, in order that they may justify themselves to find satisfaction in life by bringing up their children, to bring up their children to do the same things, so it's wretched nirvana. It never gets there. So, therefore, it's so important to consider this question, what do I desire?
I mean, wasn't that beautiful? I get goosebumps every time I watch it. But, you know, the key question there was, what do you desire? And Alan Watts even says, you know, forget about the money. Do what it is that you want to do, and then the money's going to follow. Of course, it's going to be hard to say, okay, let me just go on and continue to be this great, I don't know, writer, and I'm not making any money, but at least if you are doing something that you love, you're going to find so much fulfillment from it that you don't even realize, when the money starts coming in. So it's important. It's important.
Vi köper 2 en 3.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. It seems the video was still playing. But I was saying it's important that you choose, to go into a branding path that serves you in a way that fulfills you, touches lives, and uses the natural skills and talents that you're born with. So after you forget about the money, I want you to build some experience. I know you see a bunch of free on the screen, but it doesn't mean that you'll never make money. All this freeness is really just to demonstrate value. So you might give free or discounted consultations, invite people to sit with you for 20 minutes and learn about your products or your services. Give a free download. Again, if you're selling the apple peeler, maybe you want to give a free download on the 10 best recipes with apples. Free or discounted presentations like the one that you're on now. Or if you're an author, you might give a free chapter of your book. You want to give people a taste of what it is that you have to offer. And at the same time, build some testimonials out of that. So all these people who are getting access to your services for free or at a discount, they're going to say, oh, that was a great book, that was a great download, oh, I just had the most wonderful consultation. They'll give you something that you can use as clout or credibility so that you can sell your products and services better. And then to solve the problem of having no connections, I want you to get connected. It's really not rocket science to get connected. You're going to do networking and you're going to find people online. I urge you to look for similar brands to yours. The whole idea and the whole notion of competition is actually kind of gone now, and there's a piece of the pie for everybody. So the client or the customer that you're going to work with is not the same that your so-called competition is going to work with. Whoever chooses to work with you is the client or the customer for you, and whoever chooses to work with another brand that is like yours, that's their client. Not every client is yours. So you're going to look for similar brands that you can connect with. Maybe you can leverage each other's brands. And I do this a lot with my own company. So, I offer, I can build a website, but I actually turn to my web developer to build websites for my clients because I know that my core is in branding and producing brands. You might get connected with media. Again, media is going to be best friend when you start to really put your brand out there because you're going to need somewhere to tell your story. So, start getting connected with different media. Find them on Twitter, find them on Facebook, start reading their stuff, start commenting on their stuff and sharing it wherever possible so that you begin to get connected with them and that they remember you. So when you are ready to promote yourself, they, are more easy to receive you. Try to connect with other influencers a little bit harder because influencers have a lot of noise going on their social networks in terms of, influencers are anyone who has 10,000 followers or more. But a lot of them, they do connect with you. A lot of times you might find that you call out a certain influencer and they respond. So it's good to try to connect with them as well. And then also connect with your community. So you might go to your local school or community center or your small business center, see if you can do a presentation there, find out when their networking events are, or if you can speak to maybe a small group of businesses and introduce yourself and your business. It's really, really important to get connected because they're going to send you a flood of referrals, especially if you're connecting with the media and they tell your story. Well, if their television station or their newspaper or their magazine has millions of followers or millions of readers, then right there, you're going to get a ton of traffic to your website and even to your business. So get connected. Now, just to recap, here's what you're going to do. Again, like I said, this is probably all stuff that you have heard before. The difference today is that you're actually going to take action, and I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do that. in a second. But just to recap, you're going to get to work, and this is all to make your brand a success. And again, it's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to get to work. You're going to focus on why. Why are you branding? Why do you want to start a business? You're going to get some help. If you can't afford help, Fiverr, if you can't afford $5, oh, it's really tight, but maybe it's a good thing for you that you have to do all the work, because, I started off at the bottom of my company. I wasn't a CEO or president right off the bat. I was actually doing biographies and resumes when I started. I was at the bottom, even though it was my company. I started at the bottom and worked my way to the top. So you don't be afraid to do the same thing, but if you can get help, please do. Do your research, Google until you're blue in the face. Find out everything that you can, and as you research, you're going to find more research. Just don't ever think that research is going to be over at some point, because things are always changing. Information flows like a super highway, and you have to just always be in there, always, connect the magazines of your industry or the newspapers of your industry, and just make sure you're just always in the loop, always connected to know what's going on. Make sure you invest wisely, not too much and not too little. Do your research on that too. Research will definitely help you know where to spend your money and how much to spend. Forget about the money. Branding is not so much about making money. It's really about touching lives and helping people and putting your story out there so that you can connect with others. Forget about the money, but then the money will come. Build some experience. If you can give a free consultation, if you can give a free download or even discounted in some way, so that you have people who are giving testimonials and giving feedback about your business, so you have something to put in your portfolio as well. And then get connected. Don't be afraid to go out there, network. I got a lot of my business through LinkedIn when I started. So you might want to hop onto a LinkedIn or even on Facebook and see who you can connect with there. Maybe there are brands who are doing something like yours that you can leverage. So there's that. So here's how we're going to hold you accountable. If you have questions, or if you are, working on something and you have a little plan that you want to get going, please join me in the branding studio on Facebook. So that's facebook.com/groups/the branding studio. I am always on there checking things, and I share things. I share a lot of tools and resources. I have a resource of the month that I share every month. So you want to come in there, and if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'm happy to share anything that I come across as well. In the past, I didn't really used to share a lot of tools and resources, but now I'm not afraid to let it go to those of you who want the help. So you have to show me that you want the help by joining the group. And then once you're in the group, you can ask me questions. There's also other brands that are being built in there, so you might bounce some stuff off of them, so that could help you with your branding as well. So again, if you have any questions, please do join the group and let me know what's on your mind. What do you want to do? I love to discuss ideas. I'm not afraid to share ideas at all. So please join us in the branding studio. Another thing you can do is grab my ultimate business and branding toolkit. So this really is, if you're just getting started, it's an awesome resource. Even I have to say, the amount of stuff that I put into here, I packed so much into here. There's no way that you could miss any step about getting your business and your brand off the ground. It includes a business startup checklist, so everything from registering your business, making sure you have the right equipment, making sure you have a list of leads that you can contact, everything from that down to your financial planning template is going to be in there. There's a template to write goals, and you and I can work on that together in the brand video. There's a marketing action plan template, so that is massive, which was actually worked on with a colleague of mine from Finding Your Frequency, which you'll hear about Finding Your Frequency a lot in the coming months. So the marketing action plan was produced by Finding Your Frequency, and it has everything from like all your online marketing and all your offline marketing, and it has the months, so you know exactly what you're doing each month. So the marketing action plan template is brilliant for that. There's the Defining Your Brand questionnaire, which is the one thing that clients always tell me that they wish they had this questionnaire from the beginning, because the kind of questions it asks you, it really, really gets you to think about about your brand and what your brand is about. So there's that, the PR planning guide. This is where you're going to connect with the media or any connections, any relationships that you want to build with your business. It kind of takes you through planning your PR and who you want to reach out to. There's even a social media calendar planning template. So that, again, gives you month to month, what are you going to post on your Facebook and on your Twitter and whatnot every month. And there's more. I mean, there's so much more in there. Like I said, I packed a lot into this toolkit. So if you want access to it, you just go to sandragabriel.com/start-here, and you'll get access to this free download. I don't know if I mentioned that it was free, but this is a free download, something I wanted to give away. There are a bunch of templates I've been working with clients for years, and I thought, they're all great documents to help you get started. So sandragabriel.com/start-here. If you wanted to work a little closer with me, I have some other branding programs. One of them is the Business Discovery Mastermind. So that's really like ground level. Outside of branding, this actually looks at the business side of what you're doing. If you wanted to participate in that, and then Branding Your Empire is a self-paced program, but again, you will get a full walkthrough of building your brand and the different pieces of it, and especially the online marketing piece of it. That's a big component of the Branding Your Empire Masterclass. And then the Brainstorming Playbook is actually the blog on sandragabriel.com. So if you check in on there frequently, you'll see something new and exciting about branding, maybe even some lifestyle, because I am a person too. So I travel, I love to eat, I love style, not so much fashion, but I love style and stylish things and design and things like that. So you'll find different things in the Brainstorming Playbook. I sometimes do interviews with different experts that I will post on there as well. And then again, something I'm doing with Finding Your Frequency is we have a bit of a podcast called Let Your Life Shine. So again, it's some branding management, some marketing management, business management, but also some lifestyle things in those podcasts. So these are different ways to together. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always come to Gabriel. That's a company. We offer brand strategy, brand management, and brand design services. This is for the brand that you're ready to make that investment a little more. You've been investing, but we can definitely help you sort out a strategy. We can help you manage your brand on a month-to-month basis, and we can get you set up with your brand design, everything from your logo design to your web design, business card design, things like that. So if you want to take to the next level for us to work together, you can visit GabrielPR.ca and you'll find all the information that you need there. And then if you want to stay connected, these are all the ways that we can get together. I'll leave this slide on for a little bit so you can capture all the information, but I am on Facebook under my own personal name. So again, that's more of a lifestyle thing. You can get to know me better, as well as at the Gabriel PR on Facebook. That's where I share a lot of industry news, things going on in the industry, things going on with branding or what's going on with different brands. Under Twitter, I am at Sandra Gabriel _. Don't forget the underscore or you'll totally miss me. So that's something with me personally, and then the company is under Cafe Gabriel. You'll hear that term a lot because when I was starting off, I had a thing with coffee, and I also had a thing with cafes. I love cafes. I always thought they were such a great environment to work in. So I adopted the name Cafe Gabriel, or the Cafe Gabriel, whichever one was available. So on Twitter, you'll find the company at Cafe Gabriel. Instagram is the Cafe Gabriel. And then my website is sandragabriel.com. The company website is gabrielpr.ca. If you had any questions about anything, if I went through any part of this too fast, if you wanted a link to the video or to any recommendations, you can shoot me an email to gabrielpr@gabrielpr.ca. So thank you so much for sticking through this presentation with me. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody, but I was really hoping to just deliver some cold, hard truth so that your eyes are open and now your mind is ready and you are ready to charge forward and dig your heels in and do the work that needs to be done and get the help that you need to be able to build your brand. So I thank you so much for joining, and congratulations to you on branding yourself and taking this next step on branding yourself successfully. We will be meeting in the branding studio so that we can work together. And again, you can always find me through sandragabriel.com or at gabrielpr.ca. Thanks, guys. Ciao.